Imagine that going alcohol-free just got easier, fun-filled with tactics, tools, and science-based facts. Well, it has, and it's here with us on Sober Chicks Life. Welcome. Hey, everyone. Have we got an episode for you today? Don't we, Lily?
Oh, my goodness. Yes, we do. This is the bullshit scanner episode. What is a bullshit scanner? You just taught me this morning, Zoe. What's a bullshit scanner and why am I so excited about it?
The bullshit scanner is a tool that we all need to integrate into our lives, because what happens is that we have a real habit of dressing things up with lots and lots of words, but we're not actually seeing or hearing or saying what we mean. Let me give you an example. I might say to you, oh, and let's say I've just stopped drinking, yeah, and I'm on day 5. And I might say to you, it's really funny, I've just looked through my address book and I've picked out a friend. I haven't seen her in years. And I've said, let's meet up and let's have a chat. And so we met up, and I remembered she was a big drinker and her mum was a big drinker that used to trigger me. And then the minute I saw her, I had a drink. Isn't that weird? And I'm like, no, it's not. I just went through the bullshit scanner and it beeped, which means that my brain said, let's go and meet this friend, this particular friend. Why? Because we know she drinks and we want to drink. So we're going to say, isn't that funny? I just phoned this friend I haven't seen in years. Right. Total bullshit. Just so I could get a drink.
Right. Yeah. Looking for that excuse in our subconscious. So brilliant. So my bullshit scanner went off at the grocery store and driving home from the grocery store. This is so awesome. So I am a really healthy eater, and I had experienced recently a situation where eating healthy just really wasn't an option. I was with my mother in a hospital setting, and I just kept getting thwarted. I put in a big effort, kept getting thwarted. So now I am struggling with wanting sugar.
Yeah.
And I'm in the grocery store and I see the chocolate bar and I'm thinking, well, I could go ahead and get the chocolate bar because I've been eating sugar and I know I shouldn't be, but I'm not really putting on any weight yet. Okay, right then and there, the scanner went off. And I'm thinking, I'm a coach and I know that's bullshit. But I buy the chocolate bar and then I say to myself, well, I'm only going to eat half, but I'm not going to throw away the other half at the grocery store because I'm going to save that for my husband. Bullshit scanner going beep, beep. I mean, the alarm bells going off now. It is such bullshit because, of course, I ate the entire chocolate bar.
Yeah.
And the good thing about this story is it puts me back in the same place as my clients as you're dealing with alcohol. And later in that day, sure enough, I'm having a coaching call with someone and I'm hearing their bullshit.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, I had a similar situation this morning and totally owning it. Just totally owning it. And what's so fascinating about it to me, Zoe, is I am watching myself doing it.
Yes.
I know my scanner's going off.
Yeah. It's almost like you two brains are trying to outsmart each other. It's like you've got 2 things going on. Because I tell you what, because it looks so good on paper. You can have an example like, oh, I look after my whole family and I cook every night and I iron their socks. And I wouldn't, I have to do these things. And it's like, no, you don't. And so I have to drink because I feel so tired at the end of the day. No, you don't have to do those things. They are just winding you up into overwhelm, which then makes you go, oh, with everything I've done this week, I deserve a bottle of wine. Bullshit scanner. Walk through it. You're not going to make it.
Right, right. And I'm going to be clear here. Zoe and I are having a laugh over this. We are not cruel to our clients.
No, no, we're really not. That's when they phone in.
But I am that honest with myself.
Yeah. It's kind of like, it also, it goes hand in hand with something I'm really passionate about, which is our ability to tell ourselves stories. Yeah. So it's that thing where we can really go off on one, and we can cover all emotions that we don't want to feel by just making our story longer and longer and more complicated and full with more and more words, just because we don't want to know what's underneath the surface.
Right.
And that's bullshit scanner material worth too.
Yes.
Because you can then, if you take all the story away, and this is a brilliant thing, guys, to try, catch yourself telling a story and then say, okay, let's time to have a strip tease. We've got to strip these words off, get rid of the story, and then see just the facts that are left. When you've got those facts, you can decide what you think about them, what you want to feel, and what you want to do. Does that make sense, Lily?
Yes. And this shows up in places like I'll hear it with a client talking about an interaction with maybe their husband. They had an upsetting conversation, and the person will start telling a long story about how their response to this was okay. So maybe the person felt like their husband was calling them stupid.
Yeah.
And I might ask, well, gosh, that's a harsh word. Did they really say the word stupid? And the person will say, well, no, but they were disagreeing with me. And I'm like, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So if someone disagrees with you, are they calling you stupid?
Yeah. And then are you going to, is that your interpretation? Are you going to walk away with that interpretation that you've made up?
Right. So let's go with the actual fact of what they said, which might be, oh, I think we should have dinner at 6, not 7 tonight.
Yeah.
What in that statement, I think we should have dinner at 6 instead of 7, where are you hearing that he's calling you stupid?
Yeah. Yeah. And you're able to then cover up the fact that maybe that's somewhere you need to dig into.
Right. Maybe you're calling yourself stupid.
Yeah, maybe.
And they just want to eat an hour earlier.
Poor sods.
Maybe. And I don't know, maybe they are some gaslighting narcissists, but let's look at the facts and find out.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can't do that unless you do take that step back, which brings you out of your storytelling kind of subconscious, kind of like animals, like winding up story, because you can't help but be drawn into your own story. I've wound myself up to this point where literally it's happened to me not that long ago, where I had to stop and laugh at myself because I was winding myself up to such an extent that there was no way that I could actually interpret what the purpose was of this story by the end of it, because it was so smothered in words. And so I had to stop for a minute. And this is for you guys. If it happens to you and you get, that thing where you're almost looking in on yourself and you're like, flipping heck, what's wrong with me? Why am I reacting like that? And you just stop yourself and just ask yourself, where am I feeling this in my body? What am I feeling? And it brings you back into the prefrontal cortex, that CEO part of your brain, where you're able to analyze, cool your heart rate down, and then you can go from there.
Right. Some really deep breaths are a good practice at that point, because that tells your nervous system that you're safe.
Yeah.
I had an experience where I don't remember what my husband said. It was such an innocent thing, but I just invented this giant story around how he wasn't respecting me and he wasn't appreciating how hard I work. And I went out to take a run. And by the end of the run, my dog was in on it. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. This is how I'm feeling about this situation. And I have just blamed someone else for how I feel about myself.
Yeah.
Didn't make it through the bullshit scanner. And I really, when I start hearing myself blame, this is a clue, a breadcrumb to start looking at, because as soon as we start blaming other people for how we feel, he made me feel, she made me feel. Yeah. Well, no one can make you feel anything.
No.
That's on you. When we start to blame, we have given away our power.
Yeah.
And that's what I realized. Oh my gosh, I'm blaming them for how I feel.
Yeah.
The dog, completely innocent. The husband, mostly innocent.
Poor bugger, doesn't even know that he's involved.
Right? So that's a real clue that you are setting off a bullshit meter somewhere in the universe.
Oh, yeah. And you're going, because it's your own story, you can keep adding to it till you go blue in the face. Yeah, you can just keep it going to confirm that what you believe or what you've interpreted this situation or this person to have said or the situation to be, that you're right.
Right, absolutely.
And so then it strips what could be, because some stories aren't even worth, you'll find there's actually nothing left when you undress it from the words. But some stories have something underneath that contain a lot of information that needs to be looked into. You can only access that once you're able to admit the bullshit that's covering it up. And the bullshit might be covering up because you don't want to face it, which is as good as anything to be able to say, look, I am using these words. I'll have often, and this happens so often, clients who will be talking and I'll say, okay, what have you got today? And they'll start talking and they'll say, and this is what he did, and this is what he did. And I went, and then it gets to a bit crescendo and I'll say, okay, let's stop right there. How are you feeling right now? But then I went to the shops and I went, no. I went, okay, stop. How are you feeling right now? Well, you know what? He was doing this. It's really difficult for us to actually call bullshit on our own.
Oh, story. Yeah, it's hard to see.
Yeah, because we're like, our egos are like, hey, hang on a minute. I knows what I'm saying.
Right, I'm the wrong party here. I'm the injured person. You'd think we could smell it, but we really can't.
We can't smell our own shit. I can smell others, though.
Well, that's what a coach is for, to help you smell your own bullshit that you cannot smell. I just think this is so brilliant, Zoe. And it's the fly on the wall perspective that we need. What are the actual physical facts that happened? What were the words the other person spoke?
Yes.
And we talk often about this gap between the words that are spoken and the emotion that ensues. And that doesn't have to be automatic. Our superpower is in that gap.
Yes.
That gap is a place that we can say, okay, my husband said dinner at 6 instead of 7. That doesn't mean that he thinks I don't know how to run a household.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't mean that he thinks my children aren't being taken care of because they're so hungry.
Yeah.
In fact, I could really just ask him, what is your thinking behind this, the 6 instead of 7? And he might say, I'm really hungry and I find that I'm getting crabby. It might have nothing to do with you at all.
So can you see in that fact, you then knew what to do. You then made an aware and a decision to ask him to open the communication, because that felt like the right thing to do. For other things, it might be, you might find yourself wanting to go and apologize to someone, or you might want to, it opens up the solution to the problem. It's not hiding it and making it go away just so it looks like everything's in your favor.
And the stories make it 100% wishy-washy.
Oh,
because if we get to the fact, let's say your husband did say, well, I don't think you're taking care of the kids right. Well, now you got something to work with.
Oh yeah. Now you get the boxing gloves out.
Now you have committed to seeing what's really there, and you can decide what to do about it.
Yeah.
But when we're 100% wishy-washy, just feeling powerless, what you've done in the scenario where you ask them, you've now taken your power back.
Absolutely. And God, does it feel good?
Yeah. Now you can decide, well, my husband's a jerk.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I don't want to live with that anymore, or
Yeah.
maybe we need to get therapy, or maybe I'm going to live with that, but I'm going to make a conscious decision to live with that and not let it upset me every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
My shrink used to tell me, pick someone whose faults you can live with.
Yeah.
Because your partner's going to have faults. And so maybe you decide that's just something, that's them. They're not going to change. Make the decision. Can I live with that or can't I?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
living in this place of pain where you don't have any power and you feel beat up all the time, that's Zoe, that's not fun.
It's not fun. And it can also equally go for, when, for example, one person want to stop drinking, and they throw themselves into a program, and then they've got negative feedback or no support from their partner, and the stories that get in the way of that person's journey to change. But just the stories, when you strip it back, and sometimes it comes to as simple as, since when did you stop believing that you were able to make your own decisions?
Right.
And all of a sudden you're able to go, God damn it, I'm going to take back my power.
Yes.
And then you can work on it. You see what I mean? We're a constant work on progress. That's what the joy of living is. It's evolving. And that involves being challenged and being able to see through our crap.
Yes.
And other people's crap. But for now, it's just us we're concerned with.
Absolutely. And very often with drinking, we blame other people. I can't quit because my husband enjoys his drinking partner.
Yeah.
I can't quit because my friends will think I'm judging them.
Yes. Nice one.
I'm sure you have a million reasons why people can't quit. And it's not until we run that through our bullshit meter that we can say, well, this is me. This is my life.
Yeah.
And the truth is, the alcohol isn't the thing that's fun. I'm the thing that's fun.
Yeah. And
so
it's taking ownership of what is it you want, and how hard do you want to work for it? Because the work is not others. It's not the alcohol. It's the working on you is working on self.
Right. Because we use alcohol to solve problems that it is not designed to solve.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we need solutions for those problems so that when we walk away from alcohol, there's not a gap.
Exactly. We need to understand where those problems are coming from, what's happened, and what needs to be addressed. And that's just that connection, that magical connection that you find with yourself when you're making a change like this, when you're walking your own path, when you are stripped of the story, and when you're not bullshitting yourself or others.
I don't think this episode is getting a G rating.
I hope we don't get any complaints.
I hope so too. And honestly, we are loving coaches. We do not talk to our clients like this.
No. I mean, the only reason is because it's when you try it out, when you first heard it today, you might have thought, oh, they're pushing things too far. But I promise you, try it and it will make you laugh. And when you are bullshitting yourself, you need to laugh. Yeah, because it's like, oh my God, I just did it again.
I know. That's critical non-judgmental piece, right?
Exactly.
Because when we turn on our bullshit meter, we are turning off our judgment scanner.
Yeah.
We're simply looking at the facts.
Yeah.
And I'm just entertained when I am doing all these contortions to support a story that just doesn't have any legs.
Yeah. Yeah. It is absolutely brilliant. And I truly, truly believe that all of you listeners, all our listeners are I think you're gonna love it. I don't think there's any way back now.
Yeah. Yeah. So drop us a line and tell us what you found out when you ran the bullshit meter over a story that you're not enjoying how that story makes you feel.
Yes. Did it beep?
Right.
Or did it not? That is the question.
And if it's beeping and you don't know why, reach out.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
All right. Well, this has been so fun. I am glad you invented the bullshit meter. I am forever changed.
Have a brilliant day, everyone.
Oh, that was so fun.